2 days. That's all it took. 2 days to go from training, working, and living normally to barely being able to lift my arm 6 inches without excruciating pain. And now I'm facing shoulder surgery, months of rehab, and a recovery process that could completely change the way I train for the rest of my life. Crazy part is, this didn't happen during a heavy bench press. It didn't happen while trying to set a world record or a PR. It happened while protecting my dog. And what happened next changed everything. For those who don't know me, my name is Larry Vanette. I've been lifting weights for about 40 years. I've competed as a professional bodybuilder. I've won world championships. I've coached thousands of people and spent most of my life helping others build stronger, healthier bodies. Now, training isn't just something that I do, it's part of who I am. And today, I'm beginning a journey that I never expected to be on. This is the first episode of a series documenting everything from the injury itself to the diagnosis to the surgery and ultimately the road back. Because if you're dealing with shoulder injury, recovering from rotator cuff surgery, or simply trying to avoid ending up where I am right now, I want this series to help you. Now, to understand where I got here, we need to go back about 10 years. So around a decade ago, I partially tore my supraspinatus tendon. The supraspinatus is one of the 4 muscles that make up the rotator cuff. And injuries to this tendon are extremely common amongst people who have spent years or even decades lifting heavy weights. After all, wear and tear does accumulate. So when you ask your body to perform at a high level, year after year, eventually something starts to show signs of age. And at the time, the injury wasn't severe enough to require surgery. I was kind of able to manage it successfully through rehab training, some modifications in the way I train, and the healing peptides like BPC 157 and TB 500. Eventually, I got back to training, back to living life. The shoulder wasn't perfect, but at least it was functional. And for nearly a decade, it allowed me to continue doing what I love. Then COVID happened. Like many people, I suddenly lost access to the gym. They closed off everything. And at first, I actually thought this might be like a good thing. I've been training consistently for more than 3 decades. And I kind of convinced myself that maybe my body needed a break. Maybe, stepping away from training for a little while would allow everything to recover. Now, looking back, I believe this was a big mistake. Not because rest is bad, like rest is essential, but complete inactivity is something entirely different. Now, the body is designed to move. It's designed to be challenged, and when that challenge disappears, well, the body adapts. Your strength declines, your muscle mass declines, tissue resilience declines, movement quality declines, and so on. So I stopped training completely. Not reduced, not maintenance training. I completely stopped. And that decision may have set the stage for what happened next. Now, when the gyms finally reopened, I was excited to get back under the weights, right? But I made another mistake. Like mentally, I was still the same guy who trained hard for decades. But physically, I wasn't. Truth is, I should have respected the time away. I should have maybe rebuilt gradually. I should have earned my way back to the heavier loads. But instead, I returned to the poundages that my body simply wasn't prepared to handle anymore. And I strongly suspect that years of accumulated wear combined with the period of inactivity and the aggressive return to training accelerated the degeneration that was already taking place inside that shoulder. Then came the event that started the entire nightmare. About a month ago, I was at the dog park with my dog Dutchie. Now, out of nowhere, another dog attacked him. Now, I was able to control my dog, but the other dog kept coming. He kept lunging and kept trying to bite, and my instinct took over. I reached for the other dog's collar and tried to separate the two dogs, right? And in the process, I injured my shoulder. Like it hurt immediately, but I didn't think it was going to be catastrophic. I figured I had aggravated the old injury, maybe strained something, maybe just irritated some scar tissue, and I expected it to settle down. Then, 2 days later, everything changed. I dropped something, and like most people would, I instinctively reacted to try and catch it before it hit the floor. The movement happened in a split second, like no thought, it was just reflex, right? But the moment I reached for it, I felt a level of pain that instantly told me something was very wrong. Like the pain was intense, it was sharp, it was violent, it was different. Now, I remember freezing immediately. And in that moment, like I knew something wasn't the same. Like it wasn't the same shoulder I'd been dealing with for the past 10 years. Something had changed and something had failed. From that moment forward, I could barely move my arm. I could raise it maybe a few inches, and that was it. Like in any direction, there was pain. Getting dressed was difficult, sleeping became difficult, simple daily tasks suddenly became challenges. And for someone whose life has revolved around physical performance for over 3 decades, that's a difficult reality to face. You start asking questions, right? How bad is it? Can it heal? Will I need surgery? How long will it take to recover? Will I ever train the same way again? Will I ever be the same again, right? Like those are the questions I'm currently trying to answer. Now, since the injury, I've undergone imaging, ultrasound, medical consultations, and evaluations. And what I've learned so far has been humbling to say the least. But that's exactly why I'm creating this series. Not to create drama, not to complain, but to document the truth, like the good days, the bad days, the setbacks, the victories, the uncertainty, and hopefully the comeback. So in the next episode, I'll show you exactly what the imaging revealed. I'm gonna break down the anatomy of the injury, discuss what was torn, what wasn't, and what the surgeons are telling me, and what my options look like moving forward. So if you're dealing with a rotator cuff injury yourself, or considering surgery, or maybe recovering from surgery, or simply interested in following this journey, make sure you're subscribed, because this isn't a story about a shoulder injury. It's a story about resilience, and this is, well, only the beginning. Seize the day, my friends.